everyone. Yeah, welcome to XR Tokyo. Thank you all for coming, all familiar faces and new people as well. So this is kind of an English-speaking first event, so please forgive us for our lack of Japanese. Although we have on the screen a translation here, so if anyone wants to swap seats to get a bit closer, you should be able to see a real-time translation on the monitor. So yeah, to introduce us, this is going to get tricky. So XR Tokyo. So firstly, we just want to say a big thank you to Tokyo Node Lab for hosting us today. So this has helped us kind of achieve one of our bigger events today, something we're really proud of. And so, yeah, as part of this collaboration, we're helping promote their XR AI hackathon, the Tokyo Node XR Hackathon, which is a really cool hackathon that's happening over summer with a lot of cool projects happening already, and they're really enabling some cool stuff to happen there. So there's some leaflets by the entrance, so please, yeah, check out what they're doing in the space here. Just a little bit to introduce our event. So XR Tokyo has kind of been running in various forms since 2016, but our mission at the moment is to kind of enable the community how best we can here, and to bring the international community in, and to see what we can do to elevate what's happening here in the Tokyo scene and kind of spread that word globally. And that kind of works in two parts. Kind of events like tonight are kind of a big part of it, building a community to help kind of people find new ideas and people to collaborate with. And the second part of that, which we're working on, is just to be able to kind of provide reach as well. So to take what's happening here in Tokyo and to use that to kind of share that news around the world and get the word out on what's happening in the scene here in Tokyo. So people love Japan, people love Tokyo and see kind of as a high-tech place. So we want to kind of help spread kind of what people are looking for when they think of Tokyo and technology. So Scott, if you want to give us Scott. So we've got demos today for people to check out. They'll be set up in the tables over there. So Scott will be demoing for Impact Reality, who will introduce shortly. And then also our speakers both have demos set up. But the most exciting thing, which we'll do a quick introduction for as well, was the volumetric video studio. So if you guys have seen obviously the image on the Meetups and PTIX pages, you'll have seen the room, and you might have seen it through there. So once the talks are finished, you'll be able to go in there, check it out, and step into it and see what it's all about. So it's a really cool experience, and something we're really grateful to Tokyo Node Lab for letting us kind of show you guys today. So Scott, if you want to introduce quickly the Impact Reality and the demo you're doing today. Yes.
So Impact Reality just recently released at the end of June for the MetaQuest 3, the VRacer Hoverbike. Now tonight I have brought the game, brought the headset, but I'm also going to be allowing everyone who we have time to use the B-Haptics vest. It's integrated for haptics and the tech sleeves. So it's a sitting game. It's relatively easy. Throttle and brake. To move in the game, you just lean. So this is all about how well you can actually move your body as you're racing down the course across the galaxy. So I really hope you guys will have it. It's a very, very fun game. I got it and I've been speeding through it, and it made me very, very excited. I'm so glad that we can bring the Impact Realities VRacer Hoverbike here to the XR Tokyo event at Node Lab.
Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll hand over to the Node Lab.
Hi, hello everyone. ここから日本語ですみません、失礼します。ちょっと少しだけ東京ノードの説明をさせてください。東京ノードについて初めて今日知った人、anyone heard about Tokyo Node? Please raise your hand. Oh, okay, okay. はい、ありがとうございます。で、東京ノードはですね、日本の首都東京の虎ノ門というエリアに存在しています。虎ノ門はですね、霞が関とか新橋といったビジネスの色に強い地区を持っていましてですね、虎ノ門ヒルズ全体をグローバルビジネスセンターというふうなテーマで森ビルが2010年から街づくりを行っています。で、4棟ビルがあるんですが、一番後ろのこの東京ノードは虎ノ門ヒルズステーションタワー、駅と一体的に開発されたビルで2023年2年前に開発されました。 でこの虎ノ門ヒルズステーションタワーの高層と低層に東京ノードという施設はあります。今私たちがいるのが8階東京ノードラボですね。カフェとラボとボリュメトリックビデオスタジオが存在しているエリアで、ずっと上に行っていただくと45階に今デザインアテンという展示をやっております。ギャラリーがあります。でその上に東京ノードホールという330席を持っているカンファレンス施設で、一番上にインフィニティプールとハイラグジュアリーなレストランが存在しています。でこの東京ノードはですね、グローバルビジネスセンターに必要な人間のクリエイティビティを刺激するような新しい都市体験を作って発信しているような施設になっています。で東京ノードは、日本語で言うと結節点というノードという意味ですが、いろいろな人々やいろんな会社企業クリエイターを集めていろいろな新しい都市体験を作り出す、そういったフィールドを持って日々いろいろなことをしております。で少しだけこれまでやった事例をご紹介させてください。一番最初にはシンという11人のダンサーがダンスをしながらいろいろな空間を作っていくような、そういったイマーシブシアターをやったりとか、あとはこちらは蜷川美香という写真家が展示をして一面お花畑のところでインスタレーションできるような企画であったりとか、そういったことをいろいろやってます。上ではで僕たちがいる8階は東京ノートラボ研究施設です。いろいろなスペースと、あとは17社のコミュニティ、そしてテクノロジーを持ちながら新しい都市体験を作っております。でテクノロジーについてです。XR にフォーカスをしながらボリュメトリックビデオスタジオで撮った 3D データを XR のアプリ上に表現したりとか、あとはデジタルツイン上で表現したりとかしております。でボリュメトリックビデオスタジオは360度57台のカメラに囲まれながらビデオですね、3D のビデオをキャプチャリング、スキャニングできるようなスタジオです。データの形式としては、3D アレンビックであったり、OBJ、PLY のデータを書き出すことができます。2D とか 3D とかをいろいろ書き出せる最先端のスタジオです。でそのスタジオで取ったデータを、自分の名刺上に登場させることができるようなサービスであったり、2D の、3D のプリクラですね、好きな空間で好きな音楽、好きなカメラアングルで360度撮れるような 2D をサービスとして提供したりとか、あとアプリに出したりとかですね、そういったことをいろいろやってます。で上の展示とも一緒に連動した企画をいろいろやっております。今年の3月にドジャースエクスペリエンス展をやりました。ドジャースが東京で開幕戦をするタイミングに合わせて上のギャラリーと一緒に展示会を行い、VR 野球とあとはボリュメトリックビデオスタジオに入って自分が二刀流を体験できるようなコンテンツもやってます。後ほどボリュメトリックビデオスタジオでも実際撮影した動画見ることができます。あとはCEO 社長に来ていただいて虎ノ門ヒルズででっかくなった自分を社員に見せる、アピールするといったそういった事例もいろいろやってきました。で上の東京ノードホールはデジタルツイン、デジタル上にそっくりそのままの環境を整備しています。実際ボリュメトリックで出した自分の姿をこのデジタルツイン上に出すことができますし、いろいろなエフェクトを加えながらライブ演出をすることができたりします。といったところで東京ノードは XR レディな街です。いろいろなテクノロジーやコミュニティを創出しながら日々新しい都市体験を作っています。皆さんも一緒に都市体験を作るようなクリエイターとしていろいろジョインできればと思っておりますので、今日のイベントを楽しんでください。ありがとうございました。
Okay, thank you very much. It's great to be here tonight. My name is Fabrice, as Leonard said, and tonight I'm going to talk about turning everyday objects into conversational companions with AR and AI. So before I start my presentation, just a quick note about photos. So you're absolutely welcome to take pictures of my slides. They're public domain. But for me, I don't see anybody with cameras yet, but my personality rights are extremely expensive, and I'm pretty sure nobody can afford them. So if you want to take pictures, please keep the focus on the content, not the presenter, right? Okay, thanks. A few words about my background. So as Leonard said, I'm a senior researcher for networks in HCI, human-computer interaction, XR, and applied AI. Before that, I was an assistant professor and postdoc at the University of Waterloo Ontario, Canada. I also did a postdoc at the University of Dresden in Germany. I interned at Microsoft Research in Redmond. Did my PhD at ETH Zurich in Switzerland. And before that, as it felt like a long time ago, I was an R&D engineer at RICO in Tokyo. So I'm a researcher. I publish papers. I try to create novel interactive experiences in XR and HCI. Embodied interaction, gestural interfaces, pen and touch input for tabletops, and surfaces, tablets, etc., and document UIs. All right. So, anthropomorphism. Let me start with this word. This is a fancy Greek word which basically means personification. I don't know if this is translated correctly. 擬人化、日本語で擬人化という意味です。And let me run this short video to illustrate the concept.
I'm going to drink. All of you. Oh, I can only apologize.
You asked me for paper. I put paper in. Now do your job.
So there was a poll in the UK roughly 4 years ago, 2,000 adults, that found that over half of adults routinely chat with inanimate objects at home. Right? And the survey also found that 44% of adults frequently talk with their houseplants. Over a quarter have lashed out verbally at an object or appliance for failing to do its job. And 24% admit they've yelled at an alarm clock to shut up. Maybe you've done that too. No? And then close to 20% have pleaded with their car to keep going while low on fuel. And over 10% have verbally thanked an ATM for dispensing their cash. So I don't know, maybe you guys do that too, but you get the idea. People talk to things, right? These are, albeit very short, very one-sided conversations, but this is something that humans do. It's called anthropomorphism. And so to cater to that need for communication, you've got a bunch of pet robots and toys, and many of which you can not only talk to, but you can sort of pet and fondle, touch, etc. And they'll respond with cute facial expressions, funny noises, and dances. You've also got your favorite voice assistant like Siri or Alexa, which have evolved. They've been upgraded in the years from just responding to commands. They can now hold longer conversations, more natural conversations, especially Alexa. And obviously you have a lot of GPT-powered chatbots. But similarly to the voice assistants, they don't have any physical embodiment, right? They're not like the robots, they're not like anthropomorphic entities. So in AR or MR, mixed reality, of course you can have characters appearing directly in your room and you can interact with them. But in most applications or games, these characters are typically humans, well, pets or monsters, etc. They aren't really based on the physical objects in the room, right? They're not derived from whatever you have in your room. So how about giving a face and a voice to physical objects via AR? And how about talking houses, right? So this isn't my work, but I find this project really cool and interesting. It's a collaboration between the Media Technology Center of ETH Zurich and the Zurich University of Arts. And basically what they did is, using AR, they turned the facades of historical houses in the old town of Zurich into giant characters which tell you stories and about the history of the houses and the town. So they made a great video and I'll just run it.
Grüezi. I am Francisca. Call me Francis. My old bones are creaky. If you visit my belly, you get the best coffee ever. The coffee house is named Amici, and after a friend of composer Johann Sebastian Bach, who wrote the lyrics to his well-known coffee cantata. It is about a father who forbids his daughter Liesken from drinking coffee. But she tells him straight out that she will not obey him and that she will never accept a husband who doesn't allow her to drink coffee.
Every house is its own character, And the character of the house was developed out of its history. So there was a lot of research, also newspaper archives. And it connects with the history of the houses or with personalities or with events which took place in the houses.
We've been sticking to this wall and making shoes since 1929.
Boots, please, we make boots.
My boots are made for walking.
It seems more like they're made for talking.
Okay, so that wasn't quite a Swiss-German accent, but maybe these houses belong to British immigrants. I don't know. So everything in that project is scripted and designed by human designers. There's no dialogue between the houses and the users, right? So it's just a passive experience. It's a cool one for sure, but there's a lot of manual work involved. So we've got anthropomorphism, we've got AR, and now we've got advanced AI, right? Which can not only support human-like dialogues, but they can also better understand the physical environment, right? We have visual language models. And so to explore the combined potential of anthropomorphism, AR, and AI, we created this system that we call personifier. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but we presented this at Kai 3 months ago. Kai's the top ACI conference. It actually took place in Yokohama this year. Maybe some of you attended it. I don't know. Have you heard of Kai? No? Okay. And so yeah, I'd like to acknowledge my student, Nozomu Iwai, who developed the prototype for the HoloLens and the smartphone. So it supports 2 types of devices. And you'll have the opportunity to try the phone version later. Okay, so let me show you how it works. So let's say you want to talk to your mug. Yeah, you just place it there and you just tap it, and then the character appears.
今日はどんな楽しいことが待ってるのかな？楽しみかな？一緒に素敵な時間を作ろうね。
So this is on the phone.
こんにちは。こんにちは。今日はどんなお話をしようか。おっと、挨拶されたね。
So it's not
じゃあ、
just
面白い
the
話
user
をしよう
talking to characters, characters talking between each other.
何しようかな。
And this is on the headset, the HoloLens.
次は数字の準備をしっかりしろよ。カビが出ないように気をつけろ。
Okay, so how does this work? So when the user selects an object to interact with, there's an image of that object which is captured and analyzed by a visual language model, which generates an AR character with a name and a personality based on the properties and function of the object, right? And then this information is then fed to an LLM along with the user speech to generate the character's dialogue.
こんにちは、クリックくんだよ。作業が進んでいるかな。
So here you have a mouse, and the VLM came up with the name Clickcoon, so very, very appropriate. And again, this is generated completely automatically, so you can just point your phone or your AR glasses at any object to generate a character and start talking with it. And the other cool thing is that the characters are aware of their surroundings, right? Thanks to the AR device's camera and the VLM, so they know where they are and they can comment on their environment.
あれれ、オフィスがちょっとごちゃごちゃしてるね。でも、ここでの作業はきっと楽しいはずだよ。
And so the VLM periodically analyzes the scene and then it detects when there's a change in the environment. And then it's reflected in the
お、
dialogue.
けん玉の仲間入りだね。ちょっとした遊び心があって、楽しい時間を過ごせそうだよ。
So same thing, you can hide a character. If there's 2 characters, you can hide one from view or just remove it from the scene. And then the other character notices that.
カビキラがいなくなっちゃった。ちょっと寂しいけど、また楽しい時を待ってるよ。
And then if you uncover the character, the object,
カビキラ、
react.
戻ってきてくれて嬉しい。
User interaction. So if you pick up an object, that's also detected. So this is on the HoloLens.
触るな。掃除の道具に触れるときは気をつけろ。
If on the phone, you can tap the screen on the phone. So there's an indirect
Wow.
interaction.
触れてくれてありがとう。
So you're not touching the object directly, but using the touch screen. You'll be able to do that in the demo. It also detects proximity. So if you move away from the objects, they're going to think, oh, you're going away, you're leaving us. So,
さようなら。
goodbye.
またいつでも戻ってきてね。待ってるよ。またね、楽しい時間をありがとう。次の冒険を
And
楽し
if you
み
come
にしてる。
closer, again, that means you're coming back, and they're happy to see you back and greet you again.
お帰りなさい。また一緒に楽しい時間を過ごそうね。ヤッホー、戻ってきてくれて嬉しい。また冒険を始めようよ。
So if the device has eye tracking, right, it can detect your gaze, and if you're staring,
ユーザーが見てるサクサク。何か面白いことをしようかな。サクサ
if
ク
you're。staring intently at the character, it will also react to that. So you can imagine all sorts of objects you might have lying around, and you want to talk to them and with these friendly characters. So in the prototype, we have pre-designed, I mentioned like scripted, humanly designed faces. The current prototype has a manually designed faces, but in the future, we'd like those faces to be also generated by AI. So we are kind of halfway there in a sense, because so we integrated this sort of customized headgear as a way to insert a dash of uniqueness by leveraging these dynamic, these 3D asset generation AIs, right? You can generate 3D models with AIs. And so, for instance, it again takes the information from the objects. So let's say you have a cup ramen character, it might generate these noodle pigtails for the cup ramen. And if you have a pack of raspberry tarts, like on the right, it might be a raspberry-shaped hat like this. So there's a little bit, you have these unique characters and not just the funny eyes, but as I mentioned, these headgears are based on the actual physical object.
ルーシー、それ本当に楽しみだよ。
So another
新し
interesting physical interaction, if you want to science a character, you physically knock the
どうした
cup
のカ
ramen
リー
down,
タ。元気をなくしてしまったのかな。
and then you can sort of put it upright again to restore it.
大丈夫。カリータ、私がここで待ってるから、また元気を取り戻してね。
And then you can sort of bring a character, you can put it on top of the other one to create a fusion. So those of you who know Dragon Ball or Star Trek, and then it's going to create a fused character
こんにちは。
with a fused headgear.
僕はカレータルト。甘さとスパイスの完璧なバランスを楽しんでね。
And then you can just separate them again, and then they will return to their former selves. Okay, so that was fun. We had a lot of fun creating that. What are the applications, right? Of course, entertainment, storytelling, that's the obvious one. So you can imagine your personal Toy Story experience or your like spontaneous comedy shows on your kitchen table, I don't know, between your toaster or bottle of wine or salt shaker. Just watch a manzai with these objects. Second, education and learning, obviously, you can use that for children, like say exhibits in museum. Instead of having these scripted experiences, again, you have dynamic dialogues with characters. You can imagine these characters popping out of a book and talking about the book itself and telling their stories. Smart homes, so you have now a lot of IoT devices with voice commands, but they're kind of, very functional and very robotic. So how about having friendly characters instead, with which you can engage more, with maybe like emotional responses? So that might be interesting. And the last scenario, which I'm super interested in, is companionship and well-being. So there are many lonely people, in Japan, people living alone, and you can think, well, what if they could talk to their own belongings, their personal objects that they use and manipulate every day? Wouldn't that bring some kind of comfort? Okay, so I'm coming to the end of my talk. I've written on our tech blog an article about this research. If you're interested and you want to read about it, I'm going to show the link on the next slide. There's an English version, there's also a Japanese version, so you can read about this. And this is the QR code for my homepage, where you have not only this research, but my other work. And this work should be the top of the list of my projects. And yeah, so this is a research project currently. We just created the first prototype. We did a small user study, but we're very interested in taking the next step. And so we're looking for collaborators, partners, even potential clients, people who'd be interested in those kinds of experiences, and not necessarily just the talking characters thing, but in general, social XR and social AI as a domain, as an area. Maybe I don't know if people are working on that. So with that, I'm going to end my talk, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
So today I'm going to talk about XR glasses, and it's not a very technical kind of presentation. It's more about showing you a little bit of what's coming and what I've seen about these devices. So first of all, who am I? Well, as Leonard said, I'm Degly Pava. It's a weird name. If you Google me, don't do it. You'll find everything about me. So all my ex-girlfriends, everything. So really don't do it. But I'm a senior extended reality specialist. I've been working in this for more than 10 years now, around everywhere. I've been in America, Europe, Japan, and I'm originally from Colombia. So anything you need, any questions, I'm probably addicted to the topic, so you can ask me. I also have my own small studio in Colombia, and one of my favorite quotes is here is like, reality is great, and my job is to add the magic UI on top. Yeah, so this is basically what I'm going to talk about. It's not very technical, but I hope that you don't get bored. And I'm going to start with the timeline of what brought us here right now. And we're going to go a little bit far, 10 years, 12 years, to the Google Glass, and then we'll go all the way to 2025. So I'm going to show you a couple of videos that you probably already saw. But anyway, so I hope that you remember Google Glass is one of the first AR devices that we actually saw, and sadly, it never became popular. But what I think is really interesting is that the way that they're using it and they're promoting it 13 years ago is really similar to what we're getting right now in 2025. So if you look at the smart glasses, and you will see it a little bit later, this kind of UI, this kind of tools, this kind of interactions are what is being used right now. So for me, it's kind of crazy that we had this so long ago and it just never worked. It was just too advanced for its time. That was back in 2012, by the way. Then we go to HoloLens, which is the device that Fabrice is using, I think. Of course, this doesn't look like HoloLens looks like. If you have ever used a HoloLens, you know that the field of view is like this, very, very small, especially the version 1. But the idea is that you can bring content to your world, like what we know for what augmented reality or mixed reality is. And this is one of the first devices that uses waveguide displays. I'm going to explain what that is a little bit later. Then we go to the first glass factor. That's in real. And I said the first one, it's not, there's so many other companies, but this is the biggest one that everyone knows. And I wanted to show a video from In Real Light, which is the device that I brought today, which is one of the best, or the first AR devices in a glass form factor. So what you can do is that you can put a glass type device and you can see AR content in the real world, which was crazy at the time. And Nreal also has only display glasses, which don't have this functionality, but they are also very popular, very consumer friendly. And now we go to 2 years ago when the Vision Pro and the MetaQuest Pro started fighting for being a mixed reality headset. I brought the Apple Vision Pro here. If you have never tried it, it's really, really cool. And it brings us to something more for non-technology users, you could say that, where it's more for productive stuff, more entertaining. They want you to travel with this thing and just watch movies everywhere. Call people on FaceTime using weird avatars that I've seen. But it's really cool, and it changed completely the rules of how mixed reality interactions are. So yeah. And now, what's coming is the glasses, the actual augmented reality glasses, or XR glasses that we see. This is a video of a Chinese company called Meizu, and this is not a proof of concept. The glasses are already being used in China, but as you can see, the video is much more fashion-based, more stylish, not so much about technology, not so much about innovation. it's trying to sell the idea that this can be just an item that you can have all the time and nobody will know what you're wearing. These glasses, you can use AI, make translations, Face ID, everything. So it's kind of crazy. It's still, as I said, is not consumer available everywhere, mostly in China, but it will happen, and it's happening already. So let's go here. So I want to talk why this is important, why glasses, and I think that it's very interesting that we are in a meeting like this because there's people from all of these fields sitting down here. So we have business, we have productivity, education, entertainment, and you can see small things or small examples on how everything is changing towards this form factor. So when we talk about productivity, as I mentioned before, Apple Vision Pro just gives you like a huge display so you don't have to carry 10 million displays as you did before. I used to go to hackathons where people would just pull like a display of the backpack, and now it's not like that. They pull like a Vision Pro or a Meta Quest or something like that. And for entertainment, we have festivals which are like, as it says over there, Coachella, or we have, here in Japan, we have VTubers making concerts. If you have ever gone to Kabukicho Tower, I think, every weekend they have a concert for a VTuber, and that is kind of crazy. So everything is happening. There's other examples over here. And it seems, according to researchers and studies that everyone has made, is going to grow a lot. It's becoming $1 trillion field by 2030, supposedly. Of course, the projections are almost triple, and I think that if we stay in this field for a while, we're all going to be millionaires, or at least we're going to have a lot of fun looking at how the world will change. As you can see over here, what I thought is interesting is that in 2025, it went a little bit down, and I think it's because by this year, we're going to see a lot of new devices, and the regular consumer is already seeing that, and they're waiting to see who is going to be the killer device. So I think it's going to go down when something comes that is going to change the whole game. It will just shoot up. And what are the market leaders right now? I separated into three big sections, you could say. Apple, of course, is leading with the high-end experience. There's other companies like Vario, I think that you've heard about that one, but I think Apple goes into the high-end consumer, and it introduced the idea of paying for these kind of technologies, and not for everyone. So I think that's very important. While Meta going for the Ray-Ban and the Quest, which is just $300, both of those devices are around $300. That one's just like 500 also, but yeah. It's more mainstream. It's more, I'm sure you have seen people just wearing Ray-Ban glasses and you don't know that they have a camera, you don't know that they're asking questions in AI. When we went to the MIT Reality Hack this year, everyone, or like 50% of the people had Ray-Ban glasses just because. And for X-Real, it's more for video games, it's more for movies. If you have gone into flight or something, you have seen people with glasses watching these movies already. And it's convenient. You can put it in your pocket and then you have a completely huge setup where you can work on the go. So I want to talk now about the two types of AR glasses. And I say two types, but I put the Ray-Ban Meta here because I don't think it goes right now into one of these two. This one is mostly an AI glass. So there's these three types, birdbath, waveguide, and AI, which are only speakers where you can talk with an AI or take pictures. But I want to talk about the other two. So birdbath, as it says, they're very low cost and they are the most common right now. There's a lot of Chinese companies that are making clones of X-Real, of Unreal, and you can get those for very cheap now. And X-Real is pushing still with the newest glasses, with the newest displays. We upgraded the speakers, we upgraded the size of the screen that you can see. Meanwhile, there's waveguide, which is not a new technology. HoloLens uses waveguide displays, or, well, lenses. But this is the one that looks completely transparent and completely normal. So everyone is heading towards that. And I think that this is the one that is going to be kind of the future. So for you to understand a little bit better, I prepared 2 videos on how these devices work. And I'm going to cheat a little bit here. And I want to say that the BirdPad combines a beam splitter or combiner into a curved mirror. And the image, let's see if I can put it out again. And the image comes from an OLED display that's on the top or a micro display. And then it just shoots inside your eyes. So that's how you see the super huge screen, even though you're having just a very, very close to your eyes display. And it looks really, really clean and easy to read. And for the waveguides, the image is coming from a projector that is on the side of the glasses, and it is injected into the waveguide on the lens, which uses like gratings or prisms inside the lens itself, and the light travels inside this plastic using total internal reflection, like what fiberglass or fiber optics does, to shoot this into your eye, so you can actually see that. And the thing is that waveguide looks completely transparent. Let's see. And because we have different types of glasses, we have a lot of challenges. We want to make them super light, we want to make them fashionable, we want to make them as simple and normal as possible. So if we look at something like this, it's perfect for interaction, it works perfectly, you can see a perfect display, but it looks terrible, and it's heavy, and you don't want to take it out. If you look at the one on top here, those are some glasses called Holiday glasses, which are a Chinese company that is trying to develop a different way of solving the display issue. So they put a small projector on top of the lens, so you don't have to actually have something in front of your eyes, but then you always have to look up, and if you want to interact with the content, you need like an external device. The glasses that I showed before, the Chinese brand, they have eye tracking, but eye tracking makes the glasses heavy, the battery doesn't last. So these are all issues of battery. And then it comes Meta with the completely other side, where they go completely stylish and they say, we don't need all of that. We just want AI, and we want to make sure that the battery is good, and that's it. We want to be fashion. So we still don't have a device that does everything. And I think that's why the consumer is waiting to see what's going to happen in the future. So what to look out for? I'm going to give you a little bit of what's coming, especially here in Japan. As I said, as Leonard said, STYLY is one of the top Japanese companies here that are focused on spatial computing in different devices. There is the XR Tokyo meetup right here, which again, I really hope that you keep coming here, because there are so many interesting topics and so many people, so many fun people that you can meet. There is Japanese companies making the displays for these glasses, like STYLY, who have full color waveguides and crazy technologies. And there is Docomo making their own glasses already called Mirza, which I'm sure you have seen in XR Fair or something like that. Location-based XR is getting super, super important right now, because if you can use these glasses, just putting on these glasses is much easier than putting a headset. And there's like Thank You and Tokyo Node and Sega Joypolis in Odaiba. So if you have never tried those, you should, definitely. And if you have an idea, or you are in the XR field, as I think you are, you should go to Sushi Tech or XR Fair, and there's a lot of opportunities that you should look out for here in Japan. What I'm looking forward to is, I hope that by 2030, we're going to have a device, a glass-like device that is going to be under 50 grams, which is a normal, you could say like a glass structure. It's going to be completely independent. It's not going to need your phone, so you can just use it and forget about your phone. And then we start talking about how the phone is going to disappear in the future, and how we're going to have everything just in our glasses, which is what the smartwatch wanted to do, but didn't really work. And I think that we're going to have augmented or expanded knowledge, as it says over here. So if we have AI always available, we can do things like the project that we saw before, or if I need to translate something in real time, I can just put on my glasses and see what you're saying. For big players, of course, we keep going with the big technology companies, as Google is going with Android XR soon. Apple is supposedly developing their own glasses, and Meta is showing Artemis, I think it is, Artemis and Orion, which are different projects that they have for development. And other signals that we can see that this is happening already and that it's going to happen by 2030 is that there is already companies doing stuff. The world is already changing to accommodate this kind of knowledge. So KDDI, which is a Japanese company, already has a glasses plus data plan that you can get for business. And I think it will become easily available for consumers when we have the device. Airlines and theaters, all they have used devices, they have experimented. I think it's JAL that already has MetaQuest on first class flights. So you can see movies all the time. Fashion collabs, so Gucci is working with X-Real, Ray-Ban is working with Meta, there's also Oakley, and there is more companies trying to get into these fields. Again, as I talked about before, the location-based entertainment in Tokyo, in Europe, in Los Angeles, basically everywhere, we have these kind of experiences, which, as I said, will become much more accessible once we have a better device. And Android XR, which is basically the XR version of Android, as it says, is going to be available for glasses, it's going to be available for headsets starting this year. So there's a lot of things that are happening, and I really hope that because you guys are in the field, you take the wave from now so we can all enjoy like 2030 really happy. And to end here, I just want to share my another favorite quote, which is if you don't know about XR or if you're not in this field, it's probably just a bunch of letters that you will not understand. But AR is UI of AI, and I think that the best way of using AI is through AR because we can actually have something to give to interact with the user and control it using artificial intelligence. And yeah, well, that was it. My name is Degly Pava. You can follow me on LinkedIn. That is just the QR for LinkedIn, so you can just look for that. I'm basically Degly Pava in all the socials. And I brought two different devices, well, actually four. The Starby Air 2, which is this one, which is waveguides displays with speakers, and I have the Ray-Ban Meta and the X-Real over there with the Apple Vision Pro. Yep, that's it. If you have any questions, all good? Great.